You see the title. You got to think it all the way through. See, a lot of times people like to think things halfway through. I was watching Fargo. That's why the Chris Rock picture is up. And in a particular scene, a guy said something like to the effect of, "Yeah, we need to do this," and then he was like, "And then what? And then when they do that, and then what? And then when they do that, and then what?" And this is where the vast majority of society gets things twisted. You don't think it all the way through. And what I mean by that is partially what I said in the beginning. You can only see your perspective and how you hope somebody's going to respond. But the way that you hope they respond is, in essence, just responding well enough to let you off the hook. You get what I'm saying? You're not intending that somebody's going to respond so, how can I say, so harshly that it might, you might not ever get an opportunity to do something like that again ever in life. Or it might shun you from ever doing something similar in life. And this is a fear for some people where, they instigate or initiate a situation because in their mind, they're assuming somebody's going to respond so negatively to it that they got to basically give them a blitzkrieg, and a person is caught off guard and surprised and like, what the heck is going on? Which is a problem. And that's a twisted mindset, by the way, but it is what it is. But when you don't think it all the way through, you assume that you're smarter or more assertive or more aggressive or more cunning or conniving or manipulative, or you've got the upper hand. Some people might just walk away from you because you're a waste of their time. You didn't think it all the way through. Some people might let you get whatever you want out of the situation and walk away for you to believe that you won, to come back at some obscure time where you've let it go and you've moved on to greener pastures, and they just moved on so they could buy enough time to hit you with the old, "I'm finna end you now," and nobody's gonna know the wiser. You didn't think it all the way through. You don't know who you talking to. You know who you're dealing with. This is why, people used to say, be careful. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know what a person's capable of. You don't know a person's situation. You don't know their mindset. Excuse me. Because you're not thinking this all the way through because you're pegging somebody off of a stereotype. And the only thing, and what shocks people is when you get the stereotype wrong and it shocks you. And I've seen this and I've been in this situation numerous times where somebody they didn't think a conversation or an altercation with me all the way through. And they is like, they assumed one thing was going to happen, and then something else completely different happened. And then it's like, now, not necessarily shook, but thrown completely off guard. And what winds up happening at the end of the day is it's narcissistic. I was hearing that old quote Willie D made about when people say they want to go out to the club, and if anybody disrespect you, you're going to stomp them out. He said, but that's as far as people think. They don't think, okay, well, it's give a last will and testament before you go out, because tonight might be the night that you get the response that you never thought you would get. And you're going to lose your life. And that's another reason why I made this video. Sometimes people do things to people and it alters that relationship with that person for the rest of their life. And they can't fathom like, well, I just did this. And they're like, obviously you ain't think it all the way through, because you crossed a line that you can't come back from. You burned the bridge you can't come back from. You you created an enemy that will never be a friend again. Like you got to think this all the way through. If you're gonna be in an out of line, out of pocket, disrespectful over the line, you got to understand that. What if you met a worse version of you in a person that you didn't see that in? You see, you got to think it all the way through. Catch y'all later. Peace.